Welcome back, everyone. Today I bring you my second game against Skiffik in the FOB Monthly Tournament semifinals. And as you can see, we are on airport. Skiffik has picked his famous 119Y, and I counterpicked 25Y. You might be asking, am I dumb? The answer is yes, but hear me out. I think this pick is really good. Well, obviously against Skiffik, you just lose if you're not also one of the other best top players in the game. But in general, 25Y against 119th works pretty well because you have your cheap T64As to completely hard counter the TO55s because they can't do shit against them. Well, I mean, technically they can because they're also still like less expensive and can overwhelm you, but a T64A is just a very cost-efficient way of dealing with them. You have a lot of BMP2s, which will really help you to fight against the extremely limited amount of infantry that 119 has. You have good enough air defense and very good fighters, so you can counter the very good fighters of 119th very well. Air Force is like, I mean, you have the SF-25 AT, but obviously you would rather have the fast AT planes, but you don't get those. And I mean, the SF-25 AT is still good enough as long as you use them in the right circumstances, and the SF-25 rocket is also pretty decent. Nothing to be scoffed at. And the T-64 BVs are also pretty good, actually, because they have a missile that has the tandem warhead, so they do like 1 extra damage against all the TADUs and UDs, which is pretty important because obviously dealing damage is the whole problem of fighting. Dealing damage against the TADU and UDs is the whole problem of fighting against 119Y. And they're not like the most expensive ones. Problem is obviously that ATGM duos are kind of iffy because the TADUs have a higher range ATGM than you, so you kind of would want them to push into you, so that you can ambush them. But yeah, I mean, you know, I'm fighting against Skiffik, and I thought I might as well try something a little bit crazy, because if I play something more standard, I might just be dead, because he knows how to play against standard things, because he has played against them very often. Now the problem is that the FOB rules have been changed, and in my opinion the new rules are like completely dumb, because player 1 gets to pick the map, ban first, and pick first. And in game 1 I did the mistake of, trying out player 2. I won the coin toss and was like, yeah, let's try player 2. Maybe it's because I thought that it might be better to counterpick. Well, no, it was absolutely dumb. And then in the second game, Skiffik won the coin toss and obviously decided to be player 1 again, so he again got to pick the map and first pick the division. It's very annoying. But in this case, I wanted to try out the duel against 119th. The problem is just that he picked airport, and I just... Maybe he likes the map, I don't know. I think the map is complete and utter garbage, because like the whole problem with the map is that there's just one giant big area, and you have those high rises, which were honestly the worst decision that Eugene has maybe ever made about this game, are those stupid fucking high rises and the towers. I hate them with a passion because they just give you free vision of everything. Like it doesn't show you, but one recon, for example, here or here will just spot everything. Like I don't know up to which point exactly, because I don't know the stats from the top of my head. But it seems like if you have, like, for example, a recon in here, they will just spot pretty much everything in here. It's just GG. You can't do anything because they will always see what you're doing. Like, obviously, if they don't react, you can still do something. But, I mean, Skiffik will react because he's good enough to do that. And I mean, the same works for me, right? If I have a recon here, I kind of see, like, everything in the back here. And especially if I then have a recon, if I can push forward into this building, it's even worse. So I just hate it with a passion, and also the sides are like weird. I get those points for free, but then pushing to Anna is complete ass because there's nothing here. It's just an open field. While for him it is a bit easier because he has the cover of the buildings here and the forest line here to facilitate the push. Well, I mean, to be fair, I also have obviously cover here, but you can see the distance here is a lot bigger than the distance here. And as I said, also you have buildings here you can use if fighting into the zone from Skiffik side. But on the other hand, as I said, I get those zones for free, but yeah, it's just weird. But I mean, either way, coping aside, I'm playing against Skiffik, so either side would have been bad for me. So for the start, I decided to go with 2 of the T64As to counter like some early TO55 blobs. Have some 2 motor stroke and the BMP2s, 2 grenade launchers and the Conkers. Grenade launchers for support against the early Spetsnaz, because obviously my infantry is way too bad. Krupp and Strela for some defense against bombers and helicopters, because 119th gets both, and they are pretty good. Then an additional Conquerors into here, the other goes into here if I remember correctly. One Razvedka, so the one without the BMP2s, because I just wanted to get up here quickly and see what's going on, and not spend like billions of points on the recon BMP2. Because my whole push is coming late anyway, so there's no point in having like a single recon BMP2 up there on its own. I thought it would be a bit too risky, especially because of the there's a chance that he could push Spetsnaz OP very aggressively into here and then snipe the recon BMP2. Then Razvedka into this building to have control over the open area, together with an Igla, Plamia, and the Conquerors. The Igla just as a deterrent against some early Mi-24K plays. He doesn't have the Mi-24K in his deck that he showed, but who knows, maybe he changed it, so I wanted to be ready for it. And also just standard Mi-24s are also dangerous. And then just one Motrozetka in the recon BMP2 going to the right side. Here, because I wanted to have some defense against against early plays from him, because I wasn't sure about his like tutorial in airport. I can't remember it exactly. So he might try to contest this area very early on with Spetsnaz, for example. And so if I have the Motrozetka and the recon BMP2, that should be fine, because it was very unlikely that he will have a lot of units here. I just thought that he might have like 2 units or something. Sent them to Boris, 2 of his forward deployed units, and for those units should be good enough. Or this unit, and I think 1 command is here. Yeah, the BMP1 command, and yeah, there we go. So the name of the game will be to snipe the T80Us and UDs somehow, because I know that Skiffik is giga cocky with his T80Us and UDs, and says he never loses them, which is like fair enough in most cases, but he loses them against top players. The problem is that like I'm not a top player, and this is problematic. So it will be very, very hard for me to deal with them. And also, the earlier I get the kills, the better. But dealing with the TO55s is honestly might even be more important in the early game, where I assumed that he would be using a lot of them. I wanted to reroute the BMP1 to the other side, but then I guess I just forgot, and I didn't want to drive it towards the front line too early, because obviously my main push is going into Emma, because I thought that I should be still able to grind his infantry down in the long run, and so taking Emma would be a good idea. And I was right about him deploying like more heavily to the right hand side, but the thing is he deployed into this sector rather than this sector, which I mean I kind of expected in the sense of that I deployed very defensively here, but I obviously still hoped that he wouldn't do it. I see a squad of his here coming in, but the BMP2 was like slightly out of range, unfortunately, so didn't get to snipe it in time. He's bringing in a plane, of course he does, to circle in the back, and he started with a T80U, which, looking back, it's not obvious, but it does make a lot of sense, because he knows that like I can counter his TO55s very easily, but kind of don't have anything to counter his T80U early on. So now the T64As are just like sitting here, and the whole purpose of countering the TO55s is non-existent, because there are no TO55s here. Do get the truck here, but the Spetsnaz GRU has unloaded. Conquerors does snipe the recon BMP2 here, which is very important because you only get 6 of those. And here I did the massive mistake of just pushing the T64As in the open here. Like, if I would have been smart and not an idiot, I would have taken those Motostrelki together with the T64s and the BMP2s, pushed them around here, gotten into a position here, and established a foothold. But I'm dumb and I didn't do it. I also forgot about the BMP1 command here. Buying a second BMP1 for the right side to get a capture on this sector at least, because I know that the Spetsnaz GRU is here, but I also know that like he will be pushed out of here relatively quickly. The units here aren't advancing, so that's already something that's not completely going bad for me. But yeah, look at this. Like, this is so unbelievably dumb. Why do I want to fight him in the open with a T64A? I think also here he sees me. No, he doesn't yet. But if they would be here, like, there's nothing he can do against that at this point in time. T64 does spot the Spetsnaz GRU, gets a nice shot on it. And now he's just running away with the Spetsnaz GRU, and honestly in this case I should have just used the Recon BMP2 to, like, drive him down. Or, like, I don't know. I wasn't really doing the best decisions this game. No. Foreshadowing, I guess, but yeah. It was not the best. Second T8U already coming in, so I mean, again, like, he's cocky, but in this case he knows that he can, because I did a light deployment and then just completely mispositioned my units and put them into an absolutely worthless attack over long range against T80Us that also outrange my BMP2s with their missiles, by the way. S-77 comes in, I guess it strafed the Motorrazvedka for some reason, I guess. Loosed up his stick now, though, which is cool. Spetsnaz GRU are forced to retreat, but aren't dead yet. Some more Motorcircuit BMP come in. Those, I think, will be rerouted to the left-hand side, but the problem is now he had time to get some units in there, maybe, most likely. Getting in my own Su-27, and see, I bought one of them at double wet. Because I do believe that having one of them at double wet is pretty useful. It's not like a silver bullet, but it's just so nice to have 61% accuracy long-range missile and 71% accuracy close-range missiles. And the extra ECM. It's very, very useful in my opinion. Yeah, and now here, like, this complete push is just dead and has done literally nothing. It died, yeah, for just nothing. Conquerors gets a nice and snipe on Tunguska, by the way. That was very, very cool. I decided to get in the BMP-1 into this sector as well and capture it, because the Plymouth here is in position and it doesn't see anything. And I know that there can't be any infantry ATGMs here because he doesn't get any infantry ATGMs. Like, he has the Rapira obviously, but the Rapira can't be in buildings, that's the point here. Recon BMP-2 isn't spotting anything, but that doesn't matter obviously because Recon is still blind most of the time. Getting in new Conquerors because there's just too many T80Us. And already buying in an Su-25 because I thought that I might as well prepare. I have sniped the Tunguska, so I know that his air defense can't be that... I mean, there can't be that much air defense because he has spent a lot of points on the T80Us. There's like 3 of them now, so all of them. Then Recon BMP-2, then TO-55s as well, so there for sure can't be a lot of air defense, plus the Su-27 that's already also in. Plymouth spots something but doesn't kill it because he obviously micros it out of the way. Get on the T80U here with the Su-25. And in this case, I think he already uses smoke, if I'm not completely mistaken. So I just right-clicked him because I know that, like, the T80U can't do anything against it. And I do get a kill. So this is, like, not the best start because I completely misplayed my units in the early game, but very decent. And then I also get a double hit, double kill on his Su-27s. As I said, not a silver bullet, but very, very useful. And then also a nice side strafe on the other T80U by the MiG-27, which was pretty dumb. I should have just killed the Recon BMP-2. That would have been way better than just damaging the T80U here. And the Su-25 did get hit, but it did get out. Su-27 the same. Got hit, but got out, so absolutely worth it. Go in for another strafe on the BRM this time, but don't kill it in one run on the front armor, because I think it also has... It has 3 frontal armor. Why does it even have 3? Isn't it like literally a BMP-2 chassis? Why does this one have 3, but the BMP-2 has 4? Oh, huge moment, I guess. Or maybe I'm wrong, because I actually am not an expert on BMPs and BRMs. You might be surprised, but yeah, I am indeed not. But it does like, literally look like it's the same, and it would make sense for it to be the same chassis as the BMP-2. You're right, I remember. It's because like the BMP-2 has a better turret, I think. That's why at least it has more frontal armor than the BMP-1. So it might be the same reason here. But I've already said, I think I wrote it in a comment, I think that the BMP-2 should have less frontal armor, not for like any historical reasons, because I really couldn't give less of a fuck. Just for balance reasons, because it's just extremely overperforming. Now, what happened in the meantime is that I bought 2 of my T64 BBs already, so those are the good tanks, with the nice Agona, ATGM, and also in general just very capable tanks. The problem is obviously that they will take a lot of damage from the T80Us, because their frontal armor isn't the best with 16. And only 1 BMP-2 in support, you know, like imagine if I had like 2 T64As and like 2 BMP2s up with this as well here, and 2 more Motostrelki. Would be insane, right? Try to bring in a drone, but he has an Su-27 that luckily gets retreated by the Coop, I would guess. Yes. Now quickly reposition it as well, so that it doesn't get hit by artillery. Conqueror's unfortunately barely missing the supply vehicle there. Would have been pretty good. Nothing really going on in this area. I know that he still has infantry here, but I can't really engage it with anything. Like without dying myself, so I've decided to just say fuck it. Another Su-25 and Seed combination is coming in. Schmied unfortunately gets sniped. Here I tried to go for a gun run on the MTLB, but it just barely got out of line of sight. And then the MiG-27 gets hit by the Su-27 and the Tunguska. Bruh. I think it's like 40% ECM or something, so that was pretty unlucky. I mean, it dodged one missile, but still, like, come on. That was still pretty unlucky. And yeah, obviously now retreating the Su-25 because I'm not going to use it on its own. So this is not the best. Like losing the seaplane just for free, especially because it's like a seed and tank killer plane combined. Really annoying. Now also losing a BMP-2 here for free because I didn't migrate out of the way in time. Also bought in a second command because I'm a stupid idiot and forgot that I still have the BMP-1 sitting in the back here that I could have driven forward this whole time. Now I'm moving forward to Planmecher to get rid of all of this infantry, but it's actually still in here. And I right-clicked here, so yeah, they're just moving into this Vestas GRU, which wasn't the best idea. Click it away, but I think it was too late already. Yeah, so they're dead. Very unfortunate. Also buying an artillery now to just annoy him, because I have one of the best artillery in the whole game. TO-55s are wrecking my Motostrelki here, so do finally push forward my T-64s to get a nice engagement here into the TO-55s, where they can't even do anything against it. Unfortunately get fired by an ATGM here and get hit, and I can't see it because I don't have any recon up because I'm very smart. Also get hit, like, it's a tank here and I can't see it, which, I mean, to be fair, it is quite far away. It's further away than I would have thought. But still a bit weird that you can't see. In my opinion, like, if it shoots several shots at you at such a range, you should still be able to see it at some point. And yeah, now we can see if I have to push into him, kind of the whole strategy doesn't really work. Because, yeah, well, then he can use his superior ATGM range to just slaughter my tanks, because, as I said, they don't have the best armor. Superior RPO coming in to help against the infantry, but actually the infantry right now isn't my problem, it's just the invisible tanks. And I would need recon, but I don't have recon. Artillery is in position. I'm targeting the infantry I see here behind the buildings, because they're just annoying and I want to get rid of them. Su-27 here dove really far. That's not a good idea. I want to keep it further back. And again, lost BMPs for just no reason at all. It was super dumb. But the BMP-1 here might actually get into position if I'm lucky. Honestly, it might even get sniped by the TADU, but maybe, maybe not. Maybe it does get into position actually, and this will give me a tick, which is very nice. Only a +1 though, but hey, it's better than nothing. Obviously Skiffik, again, instantly moving his units. Do get a Motorazvedka though. Spetsnaz GRU here moving around, so the BMP-2 can't fire at them. Very annoying. I hate it when my enemies micro the units, man. So, it's frustrating. Here the BMP-1 actually wasn't completely behind the building, so it was targeted by the Motostrelki, but they luckily missed. Now targeting the TADU there, because I was assuming he would leave it in the forest for quite some time to snipe at my units approaching over the open here, though in this case it's just one recon BMP-2 getting into this position, because I actually have finally moved up a recon squad, but I put it into this building here where it's like completely useless because I have a recon already here. Like, just move it over, like move it into here, man. What are you doing? Unfortunately he then moves the tank before my artillery even starts firing, but I didn't even notice. Does snipe my command as well, but I was at a +2, or I'm at a +2 now for a little bit, so not the worst of traits. Obviously still dumb, but yeah, not the best. The upside of the extra command buy-in was, though, that I had an extra command to upward the artillery, even though the howitzer in the back isn't even in range yet. But this one is, so, yeah. And the other one will be in range at some point. And I do really like upwarding my artillery, as you might know. T-64s now pushing around the flank to quickly maybe get a shot on the T-80 here. They only get a shot on the BRM and then it instantly retreats behind the smoke again, so yeah. That really didn't do a lot. They don't Spetsnaz also did fuck all. For the moment, though, the right side is looking pretty silent, which is good because, I mean, he has a lot of investment here, like 3 T-80Us, one of which already went down, but I just wasn't able to use this little, opportunity I created for myself because there's just so many more tanks and just so many bad decisions, but also getting an ammo explosion crit. Like, come on, man, the bad tanks are already worse. Please, RNG, give me something. Calling in the S-25s now without seed, again, very risky. I said I can seed his units, like his AA, because he 100% has turned off the guns on his Tunguskas, but still would have been a good distraction. And now I'm just circling around here, getting a nice hit on a TO-55, and as long as I circle around here, that should be good. But then I didn't circle them around again. They missed both of the missiles, and then they both get stunned because they were too close to each other. S-27 comes in, finishes off one. 2 MiG-29s come in, and together with the Tunguska finish off the other, and that's... Like, honestly, at this point, that's GG. Like, I have lost both my AT planes, suicided in my S-27 out of, well, not out of rage, but like, because I thought that maybe I could get a fight in return, and I do, but I mean, losing my own S-27 doesn't really make a lot of sense because the S-25s are already dead. And here, by the way, that's what I said. Like, I just spotted his artillery for no reason. It's sitting here. Why do I see it sat there? Why did I see that? I think I saw it with this recon here. This is just so dumb. Obviously, he moved it in time because it's Skiffik, but it's still nonsense in my opinion. Like, yeah. But as I said, at this point in time, it's like it's just over. Like, I have killed only one T-80U. He has already amassed a bunch of tanks and infantry here. I have lost like. I don't think I have lost I have lost 2 T-64As. I haven't lost a single like high value tank yet, but I just have lost all my like support assets for it. All the infantry's dead, all the BMP2s are dead. So, and the S-25 ATs are dead, which is... I was trying to click them, but I just couldn't select them. I was always just misclicking and like selecting them together with the tanks, and... Oh my god, I just sort of kept them selected, honestly, and microed them like my life depended on it, because it literally depended on it. Like, oh my god, man. It's so painful. Making such stupid mistakes against a player like Skiffik, where you know that he won't be making mistakes. Repositioning the extra concourse I had here now, because that, I mean, the thing is, I was afraid that he might try to push into here while I'm attacking this area here, so that he could do a pincer maneuver, but he didn't do it, so I just didn't need the extra ATGM. And luckily enough, he started artillerying it, but fun fact, I moved it out of the way. Here the BMP2s again just sat in the open for no reason. Luckily though, I was paying attention and smoked them off at least, so hey, that's something. Counter battery didn't work at all, so in this case I went for artillerying the recon units that I know are in this building and still in this building. Right hand side still looking pretty silent, nothing really going on there. Mark the Tunguska in case I would lose line of sight on it. Because still an important kill to get. I still have the S-25 rockets. They can still do something, but just not a lot. And here again, why? Why am I moving the T-64As on their own? While the T-64Bs are too far back to support them? That makes no sense at all. Finally realized my mistake and smoked them off and retreat. Because it makes no sense to lose them. And I was also lucky that the T-80U didn't kill them. Do kill one of the recon squads here. Don't remember whether I killed the Spetsnaz or the Motrasvedka here. I think I killed the Spetsnaz. Not 100% sure though. Misters are now both close to the front line and are upvetted, which is pretty nice. We'll target the Tunguska now. I retargeted them so they would fire more or less at the same time, which is important because that makes the chances of them getting a stun higher, though in this case this one had to turn a little bit more, so it will still fire later, but shouldn't be by that much, hopefully at least. Gwozdika's now firing at the concourse here, which is not a good sign, because that means that most likely there will be an attack happening soon. But I mean, yeah, it was quite a bit later, and he already started moving either way because he's just microing very, very well. Though I micro the concourse out of the way, because I honestly do not understand why he's using the Gwozdika's double-vetted. Like, a double-vetted Gwozdika still does fuck all. It does no damage. Like, look at this. Even me with my fucking old man micro was able to move out the Conquerors in time, and it didn't even do one whole damage. And they were really close and double vetted, so yeah, it makes no sense. Spetsnaz GRU are now just moving over the open because I lost the grenade launcher there like an absolute idiot, and all my units are on the left hand side, not being able to do anything because they're just being stuck on like 2 T80Us that he is microing and the TO55s, and because I'm dumb and I lost my SC25s, I can't even punish that. Like, imagine that if I wouldn't have lost them and just microed them like I did. He could have still dove me with his SU-27, but then he would have dove over a Strelachinem, a Coup, and an additional SU-27 coming in. The engagement would have been so much better for me. But no, of course, I have to be an idiot, as usual. And now, I mean, I knew that there was an attack coming here because, like, Skiffik won't just move a random unit somewhere. He's not that dumb. And artillery somewhere just for the lulz. And I mean, I'm calling in reinforcements, but they will obviously be way too late, and there's a T80 BVK already on the way. The Conquerors has been pretty much just pushed by the Spetsnaz GRU moving over the open because, yeah, as I said, I massively overinvested. And I didn't overinvest on the left. The investment on the left made sense. I just used it retardedly. That was the problem. Yeah, the BMP2s here now at least doing some work against the TO55s together with the T64s. And now I did actually start pushing him. So I was thinking, well, hold up, maybe there's a chance to still do something. Not snipe one of the BMP2s, which is rather unfortunate. Spetsnaz taking a lot of damage though, which is pretty nice. Because, yeah, as I said, his infantry is very, very limited. Especially because well, no, I think in my game he didn't have it, but in the finals where he played, I think against Tiberius, I saw him take the infantry command squad, the Spetsnaz command, so that means even less infantry. MiG-27 seat, I tried to come in and maybe get some side shots on the T-80, but yeah, it was way too late, and then the SU-27 came in and prevented it from happening. My own recon BMP2 dying on the right side, really unfortunate, but the left hand side you can see I am slowly pushing him. Slowly but surely getting forward. I'm just missing a command right now, unfortunately, and I don't have any fast commands in the deck. Maybe I should rework it to have fast commands, but I don't think you have any fast commands except for maybe in the infantry tab, but you don't want to use the infantry tab for commands because it's so small already. Can get a nice follow-up hit on the T80U, but man, Skiffik is just too good, man. That's why I hate him so much, you know. He just micros too well. Stop microing, man. Let me kill your tanks. Fuck off. And now look at this, like everything is just that, because he was kiting me all the time, driving back, and kiting me. And that's what I mean with the problem of my ATGM doesn't give me do shit if he just kites me. The ATGM is, I think, perfect on the defense, but on the offense, like, yeah, nothing I can do. The whole advantage would, the idea would have been to use my early advantage with the T64As, get into here, and then force him to push into me with his T80Us. And then if the T64 BVs would have been sitting in this forest, would have been perfect. But like that, makes no sense. Then the T64 Bs here are even unable to kill the Tunguska because, bruh, all my units on the right hand side are just dead. They all got wrecked by the T80 BVK and the other units he had there. Msta's not doing anything because it's just microing all of his units out of the way in time. Unfortunately, quickly calling in a drone to maybe see, I just wanted to see whether he had already some breakthroughs, like driving into my backline, for example, or something. Because I don't have any air defense on the right hand side as well. And the SU-27 died, so I also don't have any fighter. I didn't have any points to invest into fighters, because I invested all into the blob on the left hand side, which, to be fair, did work in the fact that I pushed him out. But the problem is that now just everything is dead. This T64, I mean, I kind of thought that I might keep up the pressure so that he doesn't get the chance to repair up his tanks, but he already has more than enough tanks here already. Again, the T80UD is very damaged. This T80U is damaged, but I mean, this also was the B1V, so the tank without any ATGMs. As if MiG-29 comes in, doesn't even kill the Schmel, funnily enough. And I do finally call in an SU-27, get one hit, maybe I will get a second hit. No, I don't. That's expected. Now, I mean, I'm just feeding into him basically, SU-27 against SU-27, flying over his line where I know that he will have AA, and so he just kills me. T-64 BV is now left completely on his own against the T-80U and UD. I just thought that I might get a cheeky hit on the T80U and kill it, because you can see it's very, very low, but yeah, well, fun fact. I did not get a cheeky hit on the T80U, and he just kills me. And now he has also captured Boris, so he is at a +4. I've pretty much lost everything I had here. Recon BMP2 is coming in, but it's just so slow. Like, that's the problem of 25Y. If you lose momentum, you're just fucking done. Because will take so long to reinforce anything. Especially on those giant maps like Airport, where it takes like half an hour to drive from the spawn to anywhere. Deployed the infantry here quickly because his BMP1s were driving through with the infantry, and I just hoped that I would get a snipe on him, but yeah, of course he just stuns me instantly, and my HGM doesn't do shit, and he gets a double hit with his Forgoes, while my Conquerors doesn't do shit because it got instantly stunned. Fun. Also, obviously gets a command back into the left-hand side. Or rather, I finally get my command into the left-hand side, but it's just way too late now. But, funnily enough, this Conqueror that was sitting here the whole game and doing fuck all, and was supposed to protect this area, is now sniping his BMP-1s, which was kind of funny. I quickly called in another recon drone because I just wanted to keep line of sight on those BMP-1s, and I also didn't want my artillery to get sniped. So I did get both of the infantry squads here, funnily enough. But I mean, yeah, those units are now completely free to do whatever the fuck they want. Motorzetka is caught in the open. I thought that I might still be able to move over to this forest patch in time, but yeah, fun fact, I wasn't. Duki also Mi-24 on the left-hand side with, guess a Strela 10M, yeah, and the Igla. And now retreating the Strela 10M so that it doesn't just eat shit and die. Conquest now in this position, also not the worst actually. And T-64A in this position might get some nice snipes, but he again has T-80Us in this position that are invisible to me because I don't have enough recon. The Motorzetka here actually don't see back there, or maybe they do, but because now they spot something. Not completely sure. And the T-64A gets a beautiful side shot on a T-80UD and misses. It wasn't even stunned, by the way. It just missed at 1,200 meter range. Now it gets a hit, but I mean, it's on the front armor of a T-80UD, and Blood, you're not gonna do anything. It even hits twice after it has been already stunned. Bruh, you needed to hit the side shot, not the frontal shot after you've been stunned to death already. And yeah, the Motorzetka on the right-hand side also way too late. TO-55s and BMP-1s will just wreck me. TDBV trying to get maybe some side shots on the T-80 BVK here, but also there is something in the forest here already. And I have lost line of sight, and actually he gets a side shot on me because it was a BRM-1, so he was seeing me, but I wasn't seeing him. Now obviously I also missed the BRM-1, so maybe the ATGM will get him. Who knows? It actually does. Nice. Now the Conquerors did work, and now the T-80 BVK isn't just driving over the open here. The T-64A obviously went down because he then knew where it is, and it missed its side shot. MiG-27 doesn't get to strafe the T-80 BVK because it smokes off. And yeah, pretty much this side is now literally completely gone. I have lost most of my units. T-80 BVK is now also facing his frontal armor, so even if I get a strafe in it, mostly... maybe it will be on the side armor, actually. I don't know whether this was side... I think it was side armor. It would have done a lot less to frontal armor. But yeah, you can see, like, the strafing is more a secondary role also against lighter targets. You shouldn't strafe T-80Us or UDs or even BVKs. And yeah, now my command tank is also dead, all my tanks are dead. And I said, you know what, I don't need to keep him in this longer than needed. He massively outtraded me because I had a chance early on and I completely fumbled it. It was not even funny. But hey, GG, well played to him as always. Like, he just micros like a madman. You can't do any mistakes against him. I don't think like he's undefeatable, like, because he literally isn't. Like Tiberius, well, I'm not gonna say anything about the finals because some people might want to cast him or anything. But yeah, you can defeat Skiffik, and again, like you said, I killed a tank of him at T-80U, which you might say, oh, it's just one tank. He only has like 9 heavy tanks in his deck, counting the T-80 BVKs as well. So taking out one of them is actually pretty important. But just afterwards, and also before that, I just fucked up so massively. This was very nice. I mean, obviously you might say, I mean, yeah, sure, this was just RNG, but that's the reason why I attacked him double vet. And I mean, this one wasn't RNG because as I said, the whole reason why I attacked the TADU at this point in time was because I knew that it was out of smoke. And this was a big mistake by him, having the TADU so far up without smoke. And I mean, he knew that it must have didn't have smoke. So I'm actually very excited to see his perspective of this game, because he uploaded our last game as well. And it was actually very funny to see how the game looked from his side and from his perspective. So I'm very interested in seeing why he was so aggressive with his TADU. Maybe he thought that he had more of an advantage because he killed like my T64 A's and BMP2s early game or something. But I mean, he must know that 25Y can have ungodly air spam, and he knew that he also lost the Tunguska and only had like, well, to be fair, he had 2 Su-27s up because, so maybe he was just too reliant on them. No idea. Yeah, and the Mustas literally did nothing but except for kill one Motorzetka and one Spetsnaz GRU, because he's microing his tanks way too well, and I should have used the artillery more as like a support tool if my tanks are engaging his tanks, or against infantry that was stationary in buildings or something like that. I would have been a lot smarter. And yeah, like, look at those kill lists. They're so abysmal, man. Except for those Conquerors. That did amazing, but everything else, complete garbage. And yeah, the TADU and UDs, as you might imagine, performed extremely well. Spetsnaz GRU also like wrecking half my shit in the center because I just moved into it. And yeah, then this was then also the one that I think moved over the open into my right side. That's where it then got the Conquerors, I'm pretty sure, at least. And yeah, that's pretty much it. It just out-microed me and out-stratted me. But yeah, I hope that I could at least show that, you know, hypothetically he isn't undefeatable. And, you know, honestly, I know I'm going to sound cocky, but fuck it, I think I could have had at least a chance of making the game closer. And I think that's fair to say. Maybe I wouldn't have won either way, whatever, but I could have played it a lot better, even realistically speaking. Not like, you know, if I would have practiced 5,000 hours a day. No. Even with the skills I already have, could have done better. A lot better, actually. But yeah, anyway, GG, well played to Skiffik, and that obviously means that I was out of the tournament, so no first place for me. But I mean, getting third place is already pretty good, not gonna lie. And yeah, the new monthly has now also started, so let's see how this will go. I don't think it will be as good as the last one, because, to be fair, in the monthly that I showed you the games of, I got like decent enemies, but not the best of the best. And this time I'm in a group with like Tiberius, Snowwolfie, and Cheech. So this will be very, very rough. Let's see how it goes. But yeah, well, either way, I'm rambling so long again. Sorry. I hope you enjoyed it, and tune in for the next games. Will be some ranked games in between, some funny games. So you definitely should tune in for those. And I hope to see you in the next one. Until then, have a beautiful day, and bye-bye.